Yes.
The petitioners before your lordship are TET qualified candidates. They participate in the recruitment process initiated by the West Bengal Board of Primary Education by a notification dated 29th September 2022, my lord. Well, later, by a notification dated 21st of October 2022, detailed vacancy position and recruitment rules were published. The petitioner filled up the online application form and participated in the selection process, my lord. The total number of vacancy in the said selection process was
In which district? In all districts.
all district, my lord. 11,760.
Now, whether the petitioner, some of the petitioners are coming from a district which comes under the jurisdiction of Jalpaiguri Circuit Bench.
That, my lord, I need to
Find
check.
it out. They are to be excluded.
Raiganj is under Uttar Dinajpur. Uttar Dinajpur is not under the circuit bench. No, my lord. Perhaps, my lord, none of these petitioners are coming under the territory of circuit bench of Jalpaiguri, my lord. Most of them are from Murshidabad.
Yes.
May I place? My lord, later, my lord, vacancy position was declared and recruitment rules were published. My lord. Total number of vacancy was 11,765. My lord, a corrigendum was published by notification dated 10th of December 2022, thereby excluding some of the vacancies since order was passed to grant appointment in respect of some writ petition. So 93 vacancies was excluded. My lord, this petitioner participated in the selection process and they filled up the online application
The
form.
selection process of
2022.
Yes.
My lord,
Participate in a selection process then?
yes, my lord. My lord, in this time, my lord, it is important to place before your lordship that candidates who belong to 2022, 2020 to 2022 D.El.ed courts pursuing candidates preferred writ petition before this Honorable High Court, stating that their course should have been complete between 30th June 2022, but that has not been done by the authority. So they should be allowed to participate in any future recruitment process, and they should be granted training completion certificate expeditiously. Well, a submission was made before the Honorable High Court by the board that they will allow these candidates, 2022 training pursuing candidates, in any future recruitment process. That submission was made before this Honorable Court and writ petition was disposed of by the same line on 29th of September 2022. That is the same date when this recruitment notification came. So order allowing the 2022 D.El.ed degree holder to participate in a future recruitment process and the recruitment notification came in a same date, my lord. So we are not under the 2022 diploma degree holder. We are trained much prior to that. But we have participated in the recruitment process and we have been called for interview process. We participated in the interview process. But interview notification came in the month of December 2022, my lord. My lord, by this time, what happened, my lord? Order of single bench, honorable single bench, allowing the candidates who are 2022 diploma degree holder was challenged before
2022.
Yes, not us. Those order of that writ petition was challenged in 3 different appeals before the Honorable Division Bench. Malad Division Bench by a common judgment dated 11th of April 2023 set aside the order of the single bench as well as the notification of the board whereby they allowed to participate those candidates. So division bench excluded those candidates who are diploma degree holder of 2020 and 2022. But the original writ petitioner of those petitions, they preferred SLP before the Honorable Supreme Court, challenging the order passed by the Honorable Division Bench, my lord. But by this time, my lord, we have completed, we have been called on and we have our interview process, document verification, everything has been done. My lord, before the Honorable Supreme Court, my lord, on January 24, precisely on 22nd January 2024, my lord, direction to file affidavit was passed upon the West Bengal Board of Primary Education, stating that you disclose all the details regarding this selection process, how many candidates appeared, how many of them have made to filled up in the process till now, and how many have been excluded since they were 2020 and 2022 diploma degree holder. Yes, my lord. My lord, thereafter on 29th of January 2024, my lord, board filed their affidavit pursuant to the direction of the Honorable Supreme Court. Thereby they stated that between 11,692 vacancies, they find 9,533, that is 9,533 candidates to be eligible to get in the merit list. And they also categorize us as a unobserved candidate. So a specific paragraph in the affidavit, that is paragraph 16, they have stated before the Supreme Court that these candidates could not meet in the merit list, that is 9,533 out of 11,000 and odd. So our score was also submitted before the Honorable Supreme Court. Details of each of us and our score was submitted before the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, Honorable Supreme Court on 29th of January 2024 was pleased to direct the board to take interview of 2020-2022 DL.ed batch. Pursuant to that order, my lord, in the month of February 2024, board issued interview notification for those petitioners who have been excluded by the division bench and who preferred SLP before the Honorable Supreme Court. So after their interview, my lord, finally the matter was disposed of by Honorable Supreme Court by the judgment dated 4th of April 2025. Well, this 4th of April 2025, Honorable Supreme Court allowed the SLP, stating that this candidate should also be in the merit list, my lord. My lord, lordship, my lord, kindly takes up the order passed by the Honorable Supreme Court, that is at page 102 first. Paragraph 4 states, my lord,
So report was to be submitted.
yes, my lord. But they have preferred subsequently, they have filed their report also. My lord, paragraph 5, your lordship will see that the remaining posts shall be kept vacant and are made subject to the further orders that may be passed by this court, my lord. Thereafter, when the matter was disposed of by the Honorable Supreme Court, that is on 4th of April 2025, my lord, I am relying upon paragraphs 21, 32, 33, 34 of that judgment passed by the Honorable Supreme Court.
Page
215 and 225.
Order starts from which page?
Well, order starts from page
195.
yes, your lordship. Yes, 195.
Yes.
I'm relying upon paragraph number 34, the last paragraph, my lord. Here my case arise. That is 226.
Yes.
May I place? Our consideration was confined to examine the legality and validity of the judgment and order passed by the division bench of the High Court. All applications for impleadment are dismissed as withdrawn. The applicants are permitted to avail such remedies as are available to them in law. If remedies are invoked, their prayers will be considered and disposed of by the respective courts or tribunals on their own merits, my lord. My lord, here, my lord, before the Honorable Supreme Court, we have preferred impleachment applications, stating thereby that we have come under the zone of consideration, since in the affidavit filed by the board, they itself stated that we are the unobserved candidates, and a list was submitted also, since in the cutoff score, we could not meet the cutoff score, and post or remain unfulfilled for the candidates below, of 20 and 2022 diploma degree holders and us.
So your impleachment applications were withdrawn, and
Withdrawn as dismissed.
applicants are permitted to avail such remedies as are available to them in law if remedies are invoked.
Yes, and
Now
by,
you have filed this writ petition.
yes, and by
Seeking what? Seeking what?
seeking what, well, to fill up the unfulfilled vacancies, taking into consideration our merit and those candidates who are of 2020 and 2022 diploma degree holders. Since the Honorable Supreme Court had stated, directed the board to conclude the selection process as expeditiously as possible, that is paragraph 33, my lord, same judgment.
No, but their right was already decided by the Honorable Division.
Yes,
Your right has not been decided.
my lord,
Their right was decided that they will be permitted to participate in the interview and they are to be considered for the said selection process of 2022.
yes, and that has to be considered in accordance with merit.
What is the stand of the board?
My lord, first
And
of
the
all, my lord,
DPSC.
I have 2-3 submission. First of all, my lord, my learned friend has shown, my lord, the paragraph 34. My lord, before that paragraph 33, my lord, this judgment, my lord, the Supreme Court has part Article 142, paragraph 33. My lord, my learned friend is relying on paragraph 34.
33 also.
My lord, 34 also. The applicants are permitted to avail such remedies as are available to them in law. My lord, I am joining here an issue, my lord, that after expiry of panel, my lord, he cannot come. My lord, as per in law means, my lord, the after, my lord, the settled principle of law, my lord,
They did
after
not participate in the selection process.
the panel has expired. But after expiring of panel, my lord, one cannot, my lord, a fence sitter, my lord, observing
They
everything,
participate in the selection process.
participated, result was published, appointments were made, panel was valid for 1 year, thereafter panel expired. But after expiration of everything, my lord, they have come before your lordship. My lord, they could have, my lord, got this, my lord, order from the Supreme Court. My lord, Supreme Court has not, my lord, given anything, my lord. Dismiss the,
No,
my
but
lord, application.
Supreme Court has granted
As
them.
per law.
Yes, if
in law.
remedies are invoked, the prayers will be considered and disposed of by the respective courts or tribunals on their own merits. So
On
matter
own
needs to
merits.
be considered. Issue is wide open.
And they mean law, my lord. In law, my lord, they are not permitted because, my lord, law says panel is valid for 1 year.
Is it your case that all the posts are filled up?
My lord, there is, my lord, the history, my lord. My lord, the initially, my lord, order of the Supreme Court, interim order of this on the Supreme Court, my lord, the 9,000 and odd posts were filled up. My lord, 9,000 and odd were filled up. My lord, the rest were there. My lord, Supreme Court permitted us to fill up the, my lord. My lord, after that, my lord, this order has come. My lord, this, my lord,
Now
this
the
is the,
candidates who
Only
from
in-
2020, 2022
Exactly.
DL.ed batch,
yes.
they were permitted to participate and they were appointed.
No,
No, not yet. Not yet appointed. After this order, my lord, this order is came, my lord, only on, my lord, April, 4th April, my lord, of this, my lord. My lord, we are, my lord, working on that. My lord, will take steps, my lord, in accordance with law as per the order of this, my lord, this order, my lord, the Supreme Court. My lord, they, my lord, neither they filed any, my lord, petition nor is pending. They are only, my lord,
No, but they preferred the
Yes,
impleachment
I've stated.
application.
implement that was dismissed.
withdrawn.
It is not a dismissal simpliciter, Mr. Bishas.
My lord, with the
I
rider.
am repeating, all applications are implemented, dismissed as
Yes.
withdrawn.
Yes.
The applicants are permitted to avail such remedies as available to them.
In law. My lord,
Yes,
in law.
now issue is open.
My lord.
You have to demonstrate before this court that why their claim will not be considered.
Then I'll,
Since they participated in the interview, you participated in the
Yes.
interview.
My score has been given to the Supreme Court also. I am stating that if I am more meritorious than those candidates who belong to 2020 and 2022 diploma degree holder, then I should be considered. That is the order by in paragraph 33.
Now, apart from no appointments have been given from this panel.
no. Panel appointments were made. Total vacancies were 11,000 and odd.
Yes.
9,000 and odd were appointed already. Except those who were the batch of 2022.
All appointments were given.
Except 2022 batch, all appointments were made.
So, whether any posts were kept vacant
that
for
is-
this 2022 batch.
That is the board is working on it after getting this
No, if
judgment.
all appointments are given,
Malad.
in that event, how these candidates from this 2022 batch to be accommodated in the panel,
That is
or to be accommodated
Malad,
by
that is-
giving appointment.
that is the board is working on it, how this order will be implemented. That is board is on working.
Your
that is-
contention is this 11,000 vacancies have been filled up.
No, not 11,000. Out of 11,000, 900 and odd were filled up.
900.
9,000 and odd. Sorry, 9,000 and odd were filled up. That is pursuant to the order of the Supreme Court.
So therefore, approximately 2,000 odd vacancies are lying.
Line, but category A, medium category, all together 2,000 and odd.
Odd vacancies are there. Now, whether these candidates,
less than 2,000.
if they come within the zone of consideration, and the candidates who are from 2022 batch, they are to be accommodated against this 2,000 odd vacancies.
Yes, that is my case.
My lord.
Now they are claiming that if they are better candidate than this 2022
Cannot be,
batch,
my lord.
why they will not be considered?
Cannot be, my lord, because we have to first comply with the order of the Honorable Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court has directed to
My
give
lord,
them appointment,
No.
to
Supreme,
consider them.
no, Supreme Court has not passed any order so far the merit is concerned in their favor. In the
Only Supreme Court has
has said
decided
they-
that their candidature are to be considered along with other candidates.
not only, my lord, kindly see, my lord, not
Because previously it was decided by the district primaries, by the board, that these 2022 batch candidates are to be excluded.
excluded.
Now they are included and they are to be considered. Now, whether by virtue of the order of the Honorable
we are
Supreme
considering
Court, the merit of other candidates can be given go by in deciding their entitlement to be appointed,
my lord,
and
they are
entitlement to be appointed in the
Malad,
post of primary teachers.
first of all, my lord, they are not the batch of 2022.
Maybe, but it is not your case that this selection process is exclusively confined to 2022 batch. You have given an appointment to 9,000 candidates from other batch,
Yes.
previous batches.
No, they were entitled as per the law.
Yes,
That
they
they-
participated, but they did not come within the zone of consideration out of this 9,000.
No, my lord, probably, my lord, I'm not, my lord, make myself clear, my lord.
Yes.
My lord, the initially, my lord, vacancy were 11,000 and odd. My lord, advertisement was made. My lord, the board permitted, what was the advertisement? My lord, I have to first, my lord,
No, 11,000 and odd vacancies were advertised, out of which it was the decision of the board not to include 2022 batch.
No.
Initially, no.
my lord, initially, no.
My lord, may I give a picture to this? I tell you, losses. Board decided in the 2022 recruitment process that apart from the other TET qualified and trained candidates, undergoing 2022
Will not be
candidates
included.
will be allowed. And this was allowed by the learned single judge.
Then division bench said no.
No, you
Against
cannot.
that, appeal was
Supreme
preferred.
Court.
Supreme Court.
Supreme
Supreme Court said no, they are to be allowed.
Ultimately, my lord, they are to be considered.
Yes. So the decision of the board remains ultimate.
Ultimately. But you have lost-
Ultimately, by
but you have
virtue
lost
of
it
the
in-
order of the Supreme Court.
But what happens in the meantime? In the meantime, Supreme Court allowed 9,500 candidates to be appointed. They have been appointed. Somebody have been
Now the
confirmed.
petitioners are not from the batch of 2022.
No.
They are coming from previous batches.
তাদের রেজাল্ট
Now, if they, so therefore, initially and even after the order passed by the Supreme Court, there was no embargo so far petitioners, a consideration of candidature of the petitioner.
Now, the point is here, when the 9,500 candidates were considered, on merit they could
They
not.
did not come.
They did not
They
come.
did not come. Now their right is why their right will not be considered to the extent of these 2,000 candidates, 2,000 or odd candidates.
Malad, here your lordships, there are other interim orders.
Because think about this, Mr. Sannal, if your first decision was this, that this undergoing candidates, the candidates who are undergoing or pursuing DLED course for the session 2020-2022, they are to be considered. Now, single coordinate bench said yes, they are to be considered. Division bench said no, they are to be excluded. Ultimately, Supreme Court says no, their candidature is to be considered.
142.
Now,
Supreme Court
now
applied
they,
142.
they cannot steal a march by virtue of the order of the Supreme Court in connection with these 2,000 vacancies which are remaining, because there shall be consideration of inter se merits of all the candidates who participated in the selection process.
Malad, I tell you, lordships, there are certain gray area. If your lordships strictly apply the law, situation will be one. And if your lordships consider the judgment of the Supreme Court, situation might take a
Because
different
if
turn.
I go back to the situation in view of the notification dated 29 September 2022, then all candidates, including pursuing DLED candidates who are pursuing DLED course for the session 2020-2022 were to be considered.
Malad,
Now, if that situation remained, then in terms of merit, appointments are to be made. Suppose a candidate A is coming from 2022 batch. Another candidate B is coming, he is one of the petitioners. Now, if B scores higher than A, then why the right of
That's
B
why I'm saying,
will be ignored?
Malad, this is not this type of cases. There are at least 5-6 type of cases will come up because of these proceedings and 142 judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, others, I tell you, lordships, somebody, Malad, initially this order confined to the appellants who were before the Supreme Court. Now, while passing the final order, Supreme Court kept mum. Then there are other candidates.
So Supreme Court granted them leave to approach the court in
Now,
accordance.
that's
with-
another point, your lordships. Approach. Then it will be a never-ending process of selection, my lord. Board has to apply its mind.
No, but
The
you
how
have
it
to
is to be
demonstrate
said.
before this court that by virtue of the order of the Honorable Supreme Court passed on 4th April 2025, only these candidates are to be considered who are pursuing DLED course. If you can demonstrate, then they have no, petitioners have no case.
Well, that's Malad. We
That
are
you have to
we,
demonstrate.
we are thinking of it. We are working on it. It will take little time because I tell you there are other persons who will come up. Certainly approach the
Mr.
court.
Sannal, if you can approach this court, if you can satisfy the query of this court, no. In terms of this order dated 4th April 2025, only this category of candidates who were pursuing DLED course for the session 2020-2022 are to be considered, none other. Then yes, if court satisfied, then the court will accept your contention.
There are
But if it is not, if these vacancies are wide open for all categories of candidates, then why these candidates will, those who are left out while giving appointment of 9,000 candidates are not to be considered?
I'm getting your losses point but I'm not too wide opening my mouth
Very well.
today because
you take
there are
instruction
other
and come back. I am
considerations.
fixing the matter after vacation.
Yes, that should be because right now nothing is not happening.
Yes. But in the meantime, don't give appointments.
No, nothing. We are not because I tell you, Lord, is another example. This Malad B.Ed candidate, somebody when the division bench order, it's a very nice case. So some division bench order passed, no, you can't take them. Somebody of them are also B.Ed. At that point of time, B.Ed was allowed. They came up before the court. Look, because of the advertisement, I applied under undergoing candidate. Now, because of the division bench, I can't participate. Allow me to participate. I have B.Ed. At that point of time, B.Ed was valid. Immediately, they edited their form pursuant to the order. Just after that, Supreme Court says B.Ed is disqualified. Now, they are now again coming. I has to be allowed. So, board cannot do it within the month, within 2 months, 3 months. It will take time.
Petitioners the matter.
Kindly do not make any open submissions today. Just your losses, consider it. I'm just taking your losses.
Affidavit of service filed on behalf of the petitioner is taken on petitioners is taken on record. Documents are also submitted in support of depositing deficit court fees. Since there are how many petitioners? Since there are 14 petitioners. Stop, next paragraph. Petitioners participated in the selection process for being appointed as primary teacher pursuant to notification dated 29 September 2022 issued by the concerned authority of the West Bengal Board of Primary Education. Stop. It is submitted by the learned advocates representing the parties, learned advocates representing the petitioners as well as West Bengal Board of Primary Education, that controversy arose whether candidates who were pursuing D.El.ed course for the session 2020-2022 are to be included in the said selection, are to be considered for the said selection for the said selection process, which commenced pursuant to notification dated 29 September 2022. Stop. It is submitted that initially these candidates were permitted to offer their candidature for being appointed as primary teacher, but subsequently litigations subsequently issue was considered by the coordinate bench, and thereafter the decision was thereafter order was passed by the honorable division bench, by which the candidates who were pursuing D.El.ed course for the session 2020-2022 were required to be excluded from consideration for being appointed in the post of primary teacher pursuant to employment notification dated 29 September 2022. Stop. Issue traveled before the Honorable Supreme Court and final order was passed
4th April 2025.
Just a minute. Order was passed on 4th April 2025. Stop. It is submitted by the learned advocate representing the petitioners that in terms of the final order of the Honorable Supreme Court dated 4th April 2025, passed in civil appeal arose civil appeal arising out of SLP within bracket C number 12660 of 2023 within bracket Shoumen Pal and others versus Shaboni Naik and others. West Bengal Board of Primary Education is required to consider the candidature of those candidates who were pursuing D.El.ed course for the session 2020-2022. Stop. Next paragraph. Present petitioners completed D.El.ed course prior to 2020.
Yes, my lord.
Prior to 2020, and they were also allowed, and they participated in the selection process pursuant to employment notification dated 29 September 2022, but they did not come within the zone of consideration while giving appointments to similarly circumstanced other candidates from the total other candidates while filling up the post of
9,533.
While filling up the post of 9,533.
Yes, your lordship.
They were not coming in the zone of consideration.
33. Stop. It needs to be recorded herein that petitioners preferred implement application before the Honorable Supreme Court, which were dismissed as withdrawn by order dated 4th April 2025. Stop. But on perusal of paragraph 34 of order dated 4th April 2025, it further appears that those candidates who filed implement applications were permitted to avail such remedies as are available to them in law. Stop. It is submitted by learned advocate representing the petitioners that based on leave granted by the Honorable Supreme Court video order dated 4th April 2025, present writ petition has been instituted seeking consideration of their candidature along with candidates who participated, who were pursuing DL.ed course for the session 2020-2022 and participated in the selection process pursuant to notification, employment notification dated 29 September 2022. Stop. Next paragraph. Mr. Shannal, learned senior advocate representing West Bengal Board of Primary Education, has prayed for accommodation to obtain instruction and instructions. Regarding the stand of board while giving appointment, while filling up the present petitioners are to be considered along with candidates who were pursuing DL.ed course for the session 2020-2022. Stop. Next paragraph. In order to enable the learned advocate for the board to obtain instructions, hearing of this matter stands adjourned. List the matter under the heading, under the same heading on 17th June 2025.